A ka islamofobi në Angli, në mesin e anglezëve?
I don't like the word Islamophobia because most of it is just racism. They're not scared of Islam. They know they don't know what Islam is. They're just racist. So a lot of what gets identified as Islamophobia, it's just racism. They don't like anyone who's from a different culture. I just seen a video yesterday, some racist people bothering some of the migrants. You know, we have many migrants who come on boats. They're from East Africa, but these are Christians from Eritrea, Ethiopia. These are Christian migrants, but they're black, Africans, and the racists are being bad with them. It's not because they're Muslim or Christian. They just don't like anyone they're just stupid racists, you know, uneducated people, you know. So I think a lot of what gets identified as Islamophobia is actually racism. And I think using the word Islamophobia, it's like an acceptable form of racism. Like, if you get called Islamophobic, it's okay. But if somebody calls me racist, no, you don't want to be called racist in the 21st century. That's really bad. So I think it's a bit of a trick of bait and switch the terminology.
Yes.
So it's like an acceptable form of racism. It's like, you won't understand it, but in England, ginger people, yeah, they're treated differently amongst the white people. And we joke that it's the only acceptable form of racism today. You know, you're allowed to publicly say anything about ginger people, you know. No one would accuse you of bullying or anything. It's just, you have to take it. So the point is that it's kind of like that. Like, I think if you just call it racism, a lot of people will stop, you know, what they're doing. Because they don't want to be labelled a racist. Because that will have implications on their jobs and things like this.
Si e shohin në anglisht mjekrën e madhe?
Now beard has become popular.
Yes.
It's a cool thing now.
Yes.
And I see a lot of the cool non-Muslims, they wear beards. And I've seen online, there's some of these, you know, groups of non-Muslims and with beards, and they're confused why Muslims keep saying salam to them. And then they were saying, oh, if you want it to stop, you have to grow your mustache. And then they'll stop saying salam. So their beard is a cool thing now. But
it's not problem. Ju jeni I bardh. Çfarë, domethënë I bardh musliman angles. Çfarë mendimi keni për një zezak musliman?
No, alhamdulillah. I'm not someone racist. I'm not a racist. You know, I grew up with people from different cultures. My school had many Africans, Pakistanis, Muslims, Hindus, Christians, white people, Jamaican, Caribbean people, you name it. Chinese people. My school was a mix of people. You know, Manchester is a very multicultural city, and I went to a school in the centre of Manchester, in South Manchester. So, we from a young age, I've been raised in a multicultural environment, and these things you don't consider. I was shocked when I first went to Africa and saw African Muslims, because it's not something I thought of. The same way I was shocked when I came to the Balkans.
Yes.
You know, not so much Macedonia, but like Bosnia, they're whiter than me.
Yes.
You know, and when I first seen thousands and thousands of Muslims.
Yes, Albanians and Bosnians are white.
Yes. You know, it was a shock. It's not something I knew about. But yeah, alhamdulillah, the good thing about Islam is not racist. Muslims can be. Humans, some humans are racist, and this is a disease of the heart. We're not going to say that some Muslims are not racist. No, there is a lot of racism amongst Muslims, but this is not Islam. Islam teaches you this is not allowed. So this is something Muslims should stop. You know, and the Prophet, you know, he worked to stop the racism and stop these groups. And one of his famous statements is, you know, that no Arab is better than a non-Arab. No black person or white person is better than non-white, etc. You know, showing our form of piety is not based on race or nationalism. Is based on your deeds. How good of a person are you? How moral are you? Where do you take your morals from? We take our morals from the Creator, the Quran and the Sunnah. This is the highest, perfect moral code, and it cannot be beaten. You know?